Earlier, Ray mentioned the significant statistical benefits of lean, but I want to talk about mostly the engagement part, and we call it the lean transformation. Transformation for me from mass production culture to a lean, engaged culture that captures the spirit and innovative power of all of our teammates. As I moved along my journey, I graduated from school, and now I became a process engineer. I had a great opportunity to work for lots of different leaders at all levels. Some, were too nice, and unfortunately they were taken advantage of and actually didn't last that long. And the opposite was the do-as-I-say type bullies. They were never respected by anyone. They were feared by a few people, and they did a really good job of making the company and management look bad. And eventually, I got to work for a young foreman that was respectful. He valued teamwork, he held meetings, he set goals, and I enjoyed this little pocket inside of this mass production force. It was really unique. Eventually, I also worked for a plant manager who was an incredible natural leader. Tough but fair, consistent, great communicator, great motivator, respectful. He actually wanted to know every one of the 350 people, probably even tried to remember their birthdays. And 345 of those 350 people would choose to do anything for this guy. It was magic. In my advancing roles, I was increasingly dependent on everyone in both the workforce and management. I continued to dream about how much better it could be if we were a team. I started to identify root causes, and at first I called one I found the invisible wall. There was a we and a them in the plant. There was a lack of respect for the most important people in the building. And I thought right away they were most important people. They were doing all the work, and I knew that management couldn't run the plant. So how could they not be the most important people? So today I call this thing the industrial divide. It was invisible, but the words were not. We had the workforce and the company. We had workers, we had staff, we had hourly, we had salaried, we had labor, we had management, we had the company, and we had the union. All of it spreading segregation every time it was printed or spoken. So I had lots of opportunity to experiment or discover my own leadership traits on my journey, and eventually I was given the opportunity to lead a larger part of the company, and eventually the company. My first objective was, I better make some money or I won't have any time to make a difference. And I also thought that was also going to help to protect everyone else's job as well. So I found myself talking about how things could be better. I'm a bit wordy. I like to sell how it can be. I try to have someone see what I'm seeing. So we had good two-way communication. The people I worked with taught me so much. So Ray was good enough to give me a tour a long time ago of his Toyota plant, and it didn't take very long at all for me to realize I just found this dream process. There was we, not they. There was coaches, not supervisors. There was measurement, manageable process, manageable chunks, involvement, and I'm just going, oh, I am the luckiest person. I've just found it. The treasure map, Ray's secret sauce, was all there. So we scoreboarded, we measured, we put in best methods. We saw that TQM was something that we might be able to use to create objectives and strategies and let everybody participate in that process. We played at lean, not well. I call it my 2.5S stage. And one of the S's was sort of. So we went back, kind of this back to basics. We retrenched. We started again with more focus on lean tools and lean management. Listen, if we're doing 5S, we got to do it. If you can't do that, you don't stand a chance. The root cause problem solving was really the root of the continuous improvement. We have to get the Kaizens in. We've got to audit them with Kamishibai, and more training, and more training for everyone. But we weren't all committed. So top leaders need to be the driving force. The leader, I like to have you think that they're pulling on this big elastic, and you're pulling and pulling. It's depressing because nothing's moving. You just seem to be getting further away from them. And then as the tension builds, though, some of the crowd starts to move towards you. You also see a bunch of people at the back running the other way because they don't want anything to do with this thing. And the bulk of them are kind of waiting. They're standing there waiting to see what this outcome is going to be. And I really like the elasticity model because I don't have to tell you what happens if you let go or if you stop being relentless. So never stop, never let go. So there are lots and lots of hurdles of the lean journey. And number one, we have this question in our title. You need to know the answer of 1,000 times 1 and 1 times 1,000. And if you don't, you've got a problem. You need to see the inherent power of those people, the natural power of those teammates. And you actually need to believe that every brain is big and it's strong and it's equal and it can innovate. You also need some staying power. If you're not in it for the long run or you can't stomach it, you can't be relentless. And are you prepared to spend a lot and show very little at the beginning? You need a lot of faith. Do you value training? And I'm talking about a lot of training, and I'm talking about everybody. Not your favorite people, not your favorite department, everybody. So you need help. Factories have to run. It's kind of double duty to be trying to do this at the same time, converting at the same time. So you need experts. You need lots of advice. You need lots of coaches along the way. And I really recommend having a mentor company because for us, having our people see that that's further down the road, it was really powerful because seeing is believing. So we're now 7 going into 8 years into the lean journey and transformation. Our teammate engagement scores are up 40%, and we have it in 62 locations. Some of them are way ahead of us. And lastly, there is a new industrial revolution, as Ray has mentioned. It is fueled by ever-increasing computing power and will result in the digitization of manufacturing, taking well-run companies to another level of capacity and competitiveness. The revolution will cause as much disruption as the first, but it's going to happen much faster. And I like this slide from Porsche Consulting, based on experience in Germany, where they lead in smart factory transformation. Lean is the foundation of this process. They need to know you're capable of doing lean, and then they'll know you're capable of making this digital transformation. So my goal was to describe a path that leads to easier success. In the end, lean is a process that allows us to capture the interest and spirit of our teammates who prefer to help us run our processes and businesses better. So you need to believe that the teammates on the floor are the most important people. You need a culture of respect and engagement. You must train them relentlessly to be all they can be. And most importantly, celebrate the progress at every possible opportunity. And the ride's not easy, but it's an absolutely wonderful destination, just like Winnipeg. Thank you.